whether they were the inmates instigated by the jail staff, try them for murder and award deterrent punishment so that similar incidents do not take place again. This is the least that the Pakistan government can do to somewhat
So now let me ask you
itself.
this. No, I want to now ask you this, Brigadier Javed Hussain. Please hear me.
Go ahead.
Since you say bad language is being used, which I completely reject, I think the use of the word butchery is appropriate and not bad language. My question to you, sir, is this.
Look.
Should our country... No, 1 second, sir. How would you describe, Brigadier Javed Hussain? The manner in which...
Describe?
How would you describe? Give me the appropriate English word that you would use to describe the manner in which... The manner in which this man has been killed.
On such incidents, you want government of Pakistan...
1 second.
Yes?
Call it anything. Butchery, call it butchery, call it a brutal assault,
I
call it
object to
a
this.
murderous assault. It was such.
Sir, the fact...
It was a
Call it
murderous
Talibani
assault,
assault.
which led to his murder.
Sir,
it's as simple as that.
Why is your government calling it a scuffle? That's the point. Why is your government calling it a
then
scuffle? Why you say this? Now you
Can
say
I
this.
ask him
Brigadier
one
Javed
question?
Hussain, you called it a scuffle.
This is
That's the point.
no. This is something which your foreign minister should ask the Foreign Office of Pakistan. The
Sir,
Foreign
please,
Office.
it's your
spokesman.
foreign office.
This word.
Sir, it's your foreign office. Maruf
This-
Raza
this
wants to
word-
come in. 1 second. Let's hear all sides today, sir.
Arnab,
Yes, Maruf.
Arnab, I've heard various points of view. Obviously, I mean, the Pakistanis are going to be in a defensive mood, particularly the Air Marshal. Brigadier Javed has been on several times on our show. Brigadier Javed, sir, my first point to you is that you were very confident last week that when an inquiry had been... Sir, please hear me out, Air Marshal. Air Marshal, please hear me out. I've heard you patiently. Please show me the courtesy of hearing me out. Brigadier Javed last week was confident to say that the inquiry that was being ordered by under Major Newhsour Hussain would have given results, and the results would have been very clearly indicative of what happened, but the inquiry has turned out to be a sham. Now, I don't know how much the judicial inquiry will be able to probe further. I am drawn to the writings of various Western scholars and even Aisha Siddiqa, who wrote a while ago in Hindustan Times to say that across the board in Pakistan, the moderates like Brigadier Javed that we are dealing with are fewer and fewer in numbers, and they are now the fringe, and the majority in the mainstream are carrying hardline views. And if we were to go by what is there on the Twitter messages from right across Pakistan today, it is shameful to see that even the public, who we thought we could have a discourse and dialogue with, seems to be rabidly anti-Indian, and were using the Sarabjit murder to project that it was something which Pakistan cannot be held accountable for, despite the fact, as the two distinguished ladies have brought out on the show, that enough warnings were given. There was a case in point in the case of Chamel Singh, and still nothing was done. Now to say that the jail warden will be held responsible and not the government of Pakistan or the government of Punjab, I think is expecting too much patience from India's side. Let me also remind you, sir, the two Pakistani guests who keep arguing that everything in Pakistan's powers were done, and they keep insinuating that Sarabjit Singh was a terrorist when the trial was a sham. Under Article 9 of your constitution, it is very clear that when a man has served his full sentence for whatever reason, you cannot punish him a second time over. He had served 50% more than the full life sentence that you would want a prisoner to go through. And you are still wanting to say that Sarabjit deserved further punishment. Wasn't this an opportunity, sir? I want to ask the two distinguished military officers there. Wasn't this an opportunity for you to turn the tide with India, send Sarabjit's body back, show humanitarian concern, not be suspicious of intentions of a man who was lying terribly wounded and on his deathbed, that he'd bounce out of a hospital bed and go free from Pakistan's clutches, but give this an opportunity to improve relations with India.
Why didn't
but
you take
Pakistan dug its heels in on an issue when the man, neither his family, had no choice but to plead again and again. And then you want good relations with India, sir? What could be the next step we could then look forward to from you?
And as an expression of sincerity, I would like to follow that up by asking either of our Pakistani guests or all of them together to tell me that even after Sarabjit's death, Pakistan is yet to take any action against the jail authorities. It was earlier reported that several Pakistani jail officials were suspended, but it is now known that that was an eyewash. Only notices were served to 7 of the officials. I have their names. So my question is to either our guest Brigadier Sharaf in Islamabad or to our guests in Karachi. Why should we believe you?
Goswami,
Why should we believe you, sir,
Okay, just
that you will act? Okay, Brigadier Sharaf wants to answer first. Yes, Brigadier
I will
Sharaf.
answer.
Yeah.
Brigadier Sharaf, and then I come back to you, Air Marshal.
Anab, the issue is that Sarabjit Singh has a very controversial record of spanning over a very long time. There were indications of mistaken identity, then there were indications whether he's going to be released or not. 2 Indian prisoners were released, Surjit Singh and Kashmir Singh. And once Kashmir went back, he said that I was a spy. Surjit Singh said that Sarabjit Singh is a spy. So this did not help Surjit Singh's case.
Sir, Surjit did not say that Sarabjit is a spy. No, I want to contradict you. Surjit did not say Sarabjit is a spy.
I have the press clippings.
No, you don't have it. Produce it.
He said it. I have the press clippings.
Surjit did not say Sarabjit is a spy. You were completely wrong there, but please continue.
No, I'm not wrong. If you wish, I'll send you the press clippings also.
No, you have been unable to produce. He did not say that.
The point is, why did Sarabjit's case linger for so on? The issue in India and Pakistan has been that the consulates of India and Pakistan, the Indian consulate did not take enough interest for a very long time. Once we see the wailing and the crying of Sarabjit's sister, one feels really sorry, because Indian government started involving itself at a very, very late stage.
Sir,
had Indian consulate in Pakistan hired good lawyers for
was the Indian consulate providing security?
The case properly,
was the Indian consulate providing security at the jail?
As far as the notion of a mistaken identity is concerned, that could have been removed and it could have been settled for good, whether he is the one who carried out the blast in Pakistan or indeed it is a
Brigadier
mistaken identity.
I want to answer him.
Both countries are to be blamed. The issue is that
Brigadier Sharaf, Brigadier Sharaf,
yes,
one of our panelists has to leave. One of our panelists has to leave.
Even in the case of Surjit Singh, it was a Pakistani human rights organization that discovered that the gentleman had already served a sentence in Pakistan
Brigadier Sharaf,
was overstaying in Pakistan.
Brigadier Sharaf,
took up the case.
Brigadier Sharaf, I would like to get in 2 of our panelists, Meenakshi, before you, because Harsimrat Kaur has to go. I just want to make one point, that in the case of Sarabjit, the police informed the witnesses that he was the culprit, which is the most disastrous and unbelievable thing to happen in any judicial system, which proves that he was convicted through a mockery of jurisprudence, sir. You know about it, and I can challenge you point by point and fact by fact on the circumstances in which this man was convicted.
That is my point.
But my point is...
That is exactly my point.
Sir,
if you feel so strongly about it, even after Sarabjit has died, may God give patience and happiness to the family which is so grieved. Our hearts are with them. You must engage lawyers in Pakistan and prove the point, whether Sarabjit was a mistaken identity or not.
An attempt. What you are saying is, let's share the blame. Harsimrat Kaur, before you go, would you accept Brigadier Sharaf's argument, which he's making from Islamabad tonight, that let's share the blame?
I think it's becoming more and more absurd and reaching new lows. First of all, how can he say both governments are to blame? The person has been butchered and murdered in your country under your supervision. So the blame lies squarely on you for what happened to him. How can he even talk about blaming any other country?
You people could not even hire a proper lawyer for him. That for over 10 years, that poor man never had a lawyer in Pakistan.
According to you, not giving a proper lawyer and murdering the guy, it can be equated the same. Oh, so if we could not
Even
provide a lawyer,
Sarabjit's
does that
sister
give
has
you the
been
right to have
saying
him
that she's
butchered
been
and murdered?
shuttling all over India.
Brigadier Sharaf, I don't understand what you are saying.
Sarabjit's sister has been saying that his life is in danger
You will
because
not
of it. It's
understand
absurd
because
what
you
he's
don't
saying.
want to understand.
No, I completely am capable of understanding. Thank you very much. I know.
Brigadier
Let me make a
Sharaf,
similar.
was he murdered? Was an Indian... One second, Arnav, just let me ask him one
What?
question. Was an Indian prisoner butchered mercilessly on your land, in your jail, under the supervision of your jail authorities and your government? Yes or no? And if he was, then who's at fault? Is it India or is it Pakistan? I think it's as simple as that.
It needs to be condemned, it needs to be investigated, and the culprits need to be punished according to the law of Pakistan.
Sir, I feel
That is my
Sir, I feel.
take.
Sir, are you?
The people who have murdered,
Sir,
the
are you,
people who have shown
Brigadier Sharaf,
negligence need to be
Brigadier
punished.
Brigadier Sharaf, you say I don't want to understand. I don't know whether you want to understand. The fact is, are your jail authorities so terrible at their job? I know the Pakistani army is in a bad shape, but are your jail authorities also so bad at their job that 2 Indian prisoners
Pakistan
are allowed to
army
die?
is not in a bad shape.
That 2 Indian prisoners are allowed to die in 2 months?
Arnab,
Tell me one Pakistani. No, I would like to ask you, Brigadier Sharaf, I don't want to raise my voice. Brigadier Sharaf, you have to listen.
Totally paralyzed because of
Brigadier
torture.
Sharaf,
We have received dead bodies from India of prisoners who have come here as skeletons. So it's been going on.
No, Brigadier
just
Sharaf.
don't blame Pakistan. India needs to share half the blame.
Brigadier Sharaf, Brigadier Sharaf, I want to ask you.
Can you recall the last time a Pakistani prisoner has been butchered by Indian prisoners?
Exactly. I want to ask you, Brigadier
Can you
Sharaf.
recall a certain
Tonight, here on the Newshour, Brigadier Sharaf, I want you to name one Pakistani who has been killed like Sarabjit was killed. I want you to name one Pakistani who has been killed in the way Chamal Singh was killed. One Pakistani who was killed like Sarabjit or Chamal Singh was killed. I will rest my case.
But I can quote you 2 incidents.
Name one
Pakistani returning mad to Pakistan.
Name
who had
one
lost his
Pakistani.
senses. One Pakistani
Sir,
returning totally paralyzed. And one Pakistani returning in a body bag with only bones.
Sir, please don't make fiction. Don't make fiction because you cannot answer my question. Meenakshi Lekhi, I don't find one Pakistani killed in the manner that this man Sarabjit has been killed. Meenakshi is responding to you, Brigadier Sharaf. Yes, after that I'm going back to our guest in Karachi. Meenakshi.
Brigadier Sharaf, under the rule of law, a punishment needs to be given to a person under what the law says, number one. So there has been a violation. Number two, a fact which is not coming forward is that as per the barrister of your country, this gentleman was on life sentence. He was not on death roll. He was on life sentence. And he had already served his life sentence much earlier and he was continuing to languish in jail. And this person, while should have been released, was butchered to death. Wow. And this method of killing, I don't think is applicable under the Pakistani jurisprudence or penal law, that you kill a person in this particular manner. And if this person, because this person could not have been killed, and then there is a design. The design, I say, because same jail, second incidence in 3 months' time.
Yes.
And that is why I call it a design. I call it a design, and I call it that authorities are colluding. Number three, which I wanted to make the point was that in our country, better medical facilities were available, and had the intention been right, our doctors, our medical facilities where thousands of your people and citizens are coming, and we are still not getting provoked by your inaction in this fashion.
Okay. Now,
the same medical facility should have been made available to this gentleman. And one more thing. Under the Evidence Act, I'm sorry, I am not finished. Let me put one more point across to you so that you can answer it. The gentleman on whose witness this person was convicted has admitted on camera that he was forced to make that statement by the government council. How do you deal with that kind of judicial system? So ISI controls everything in your country, not just the borders or the army, but Interior Ministry along with the judiciary.
Brigadier Sharaf, with your permission, I'd like to go across to our guests in Karachi to answer that, because I haven't gone to them for some time. Coming back to you, Brigadier Sharaf.
No, I have certain statistics related to the question she has asked. Sir, the first one is that last year, one of your correspondents in Pakistan, Mr. Ghosh, wrote in July 2012 that Indian prisoners in Pakistani jails are treated well. Once, now that the body of Sarabjit Singh has arrived in India,
Sir, this is...
it will be noticed that he was
Sir,
fed well, he was looked after well.
Sir,
Even
sir,
Surjit
since
Singh
I'm-
and Kashmir Singh, once they went back to India, they
Sir, I
said they
think-
were treated properly.
Sir, please.
This is one.
Sir,
Secondly,
this-
You've not even
Sarabjit Singh
received
was
Prasab's
on the
body.
death row.
You're not even answering the question.
Sarabjit was on a death row, and his death punishment had been, it had been repeatedly put a ban.
Sir, he had served his
because of
sentence.
various
What are you
appeals.
saying? Brigadier Sharaf, please check your facts. He had
was
served his
commuted.
sentence.
Death sentence was
He had-
commuted to
He
life
was on the death row.
imprisonment.
No, 1 second. He had served his sentence.
Death row.
So what are you saying, sir? And the fact of the
Making
matter
a
is this.
false statement.
He was on death row.
I think Brigadier Javed Hussain
He
wants to
was
come
on
back.
death row.
But I am asking
Please
here
check the
directly.
facts.
The
And
fact
if he
is...
was on death row, then the cell has to be a solitary cell.